Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are going to take a look at Caustic 3. Caustic's been around for absolute ages and I still find it really entertaining. I think it's a fantastic app. It's a kind of a loop based app, but it's huge. You can do so much cool stuff with Caustic, as you will see. So we're going to have a bit of a tutorial, a bit of a look around the app. Things like that, see what we can do within the app. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, or consider becoming a patron or making a one-off donation. Help support me and Joe. And let's just dive right in. Okay, so here we are at the Caustic settings page. This is where you'll load existing projects, create new projects, save projects, export projects, and import files and stuff. On this page, you can set your BPM, which we shall do now. I shall set this to 100 BPM for this project and leave the time signature of 4/4. You can also set shuffle amount, shuffle resolution, and you can set the scale for the global project as well, so that when you're using the synths and instruments in there, it will be reflected in the scale that you set here. You can do minor, etc. You can see, I'm going to leave this on chromatic because I'm going to be using a MIDI keyboard, so we can click done. Now we've done this, okay, I've already hit new, so ready. So to add machines, press this little icon here, and you're presented with this page, and you can add up to 14 synths, if you like, or drum machines. Then you have an effects page, which at the moment will be empty. Let's go back to here. Then you have your sequencer, which again will be empty. A thing to remember with Caustic, it's important whether you're on pattern or song. We're going to stick with, say, pattern to start with. Then you have a mixer, which is absolutely marvelous. And then you have, on the mixer, you might see you have reverb, delay, etc. If you go to the master settings, those are relevant to what's on the mixer. Okay. You also have all these other effects as well, which they're like insert effects. Okay. So they're like the sends. These are like the insert. So we'll start by clicking on this, and we can choose one of these. So let's choose a beatbox. And then we can tap on beatbox. And then you can, audition sounds, but first of all, you have to select a kit. And there are lots of kits, and there are also tons and tons of kits available on the Caustic website as well. I mean, absolutely loads, but you do get tons to start with. Maybe we should try the CR78, and then we just hit load, and then we can and of course you can tap them with your finger as well. And you have a metronome, and anytime in Caustic you see a little highlighted triangle in the corner, it means if you long hold, you will get another option. So at the moment I've got this to count in for 2 measures. There's the volume, and then we can just go back like this. But this is the same for throughout Caustic. If you see a little triangle, then that means that you can long hold and access more information. Okay, so we're going to have our metronome turned on for this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just scroll up a page, and you'll see that this is your MIDI, your piano roll kind of thing, but for the drums. But I'm going to go to grid here and see where it says ×2, ×4, ×8. At the moment, it's a 1-bar loop, and you'll see that they're grayed out. I'm going to select this 2, grow pattern to 2 measures. Yes. Now you can have up to, and you'll see that that's now white, so we know it's on 2 measures. If it was 4, the 4 would be white, etc. You can have up to 8 measures, so it's loop based. Okay, I have quantize switched on, so I can go back up to my instrument now, and if I press play, we get our little counting. And remember, if I press record now, I'm going to get a 1 bar counter. So I'm going to do something very simple because there's lots to get through, and you know. So, oops, hang on a minute. Press play. Can switch the metronome off. Now we've got turn that down a bit. Now the things I've done here, right, is I have automated the volume control. So I'm just going to hold it here for duration, because in Caustic you can automate absolutely everything. And I'm going to make sure that this is held there. So you must remember to turn your record off if you don't want to keep automating everything. So that's one of the cool things about Caustic. You just have to be aware that if record is on, it's going to automate wherever you're turning. Okay, so let's go to our mixer and let's increase the overall volume of that kit. And these are absolutely marvelous. I'm going to give it a bit of bass, EQ. And listen to what happens with the width. If you're wearing headphones, you'll hear this a lot. So it kind of spreads it out either side. So leave it a little bit. The reverb is absolutely lush. We could even give it a tiny bit of delay. Let's drag this back into the middle a bit, I think. Lovely. Okay, so we've created a nice 2-bar loop there. Let's add another instrument. Now, there are loads and loads of cool synths and things. So I'm going to add this Pcm Synth for a start off. And the Pcm Synth allows you, this Pcm Synth allows you to import your own samples and stuff like that. And this Caustic has a full-blown sample editor that you can use as well. So we'll load Pcm and have a look. And we can see select an instrument. Now, before I start to do this, right, I'm going to again go here. I'm going to go to my grid. I'm going to stretch this to 2 measures. I'm going to leave the quantization as it is. And there's done. I've got 2 measures now. That's different. I'll show you what that does in a little bit when we've got some MIDI data in. So we've got 2 measures. Let's go back to the synth part. Nothing in there. So let's select and this is where you've got loads and loads of sounds, but you can import, again, you can import tons and tons. But we've got some basic ones to start. Let's see, real. Sorry, I'll just open this folder. I'm looking for, Rhodes, there we go. Load the Rhodes. And we've got release. We need to turn the filter on, low pass. So it reacts just like a synth. All this is down to when you start to import samples, etc., and set key ranges and all the rest of it. You have an LFO. You can hear it's on a volume at the moment, but you can assign it to pitch, to the cutoff. We'll leave it on volume because it gives the Rhodes a nice bit of tremolo, nice bit of trem. So again, before I record anything, actually no, I'm going to record something first, because what happens, right, if I go, you have to work within Caustic's kind of ecosystem. If I went to my mixer now and played my MIDI keyboard, you wouldn't hear anything at all. because Caustic needs MIDI data in there if you want to leave the synth and do some editing. So I'm going to play the little loop and just so I'm going to just drop this down a little bit. I'm just going to record something super simple. So again, I'm going to stop. I'll record. I'm going to use the metronome. Got a 2-bar count, yeah? There you go. Make sure to stop record. Switch our metronome off. And if we have a look at the MIDI data now, we roll up. And there's our first chord. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a couple of things that you can do here. So for instance, you can edit here. So selecting any particular note in the MIDI, you can either delete it, copy it. You will be allowed to paste it elsewhere as well, of course. If you hit edit, if you hit select, you can select all of them, none of them. You can lasso a range of them like this. Okay, so we'll just select one for now. The time, that's again something different, but there's a lot of complex stuff in Caustic. But it's not worth getting into now. But if you're interested, I've done some really in-deep tutorials in the past. So if you wanted to check any of them out. Now this here, this where it says size, once you click on a MIDI note, you'll see this little drag bar appear. I turn size off, that'll disappear. And it basically just means that you can resize the note. And remember always to make sure you're in pattern when you're making patterns. And another thing to realize about patterns is this is pattern A1, and it's for the PCM synth. You can have different pattern lengths for different instruments. I've just happened to have 2-bar length set for both of those instruments. So, you know, there you go. But you can have up to basically 64 patterns of up to 8 bars long for each individual instrument. So it's not like you're limited. And this becomes apparent when you're editing in song mode. Okay, so again, you can see this little triangle option darkened. So if we long hold, you can see that you can override the shuffle, you can shift and you can transpose, and you can see where we are. It's pattern A1, bank A. Okay, so we can go back there. So again, just to remember, if you see a little triangle in the corner of anything in Caustic, it means that there is some hidden information in there, and all you need to do is long hold it. So we've got this now. Now, before we go into song mode, okay, let's just deselect that. Let's make a few more patterns. Now, Caustic's all about building patterns before you assemble your song. That's really the easiest way to do it. So we could go and have a look at another instrument now. Maybe the, let's see, well, there's the bass synth. Let's use sub synth, and let's remember to select it. So we could build our own sound, obviously, if we wanted to. Lots of different waveforms, and again we can long hold, and you've got your custom waveform editor, which is really nice, and you have a little keyboard as well, so you can see what you're doing. However, I'm going to stick with that, and you've got a frequency modulator, which I guess will not quite sure how the FM works. Never used it before. Have we got pulse width? That's glides. It's negative and positive glide, so. Let's mix between the two. Not quite sure why the FM isn't doing anything. I must be doing something wrong. Anyway. Right, so let's get some low pass on that. And drop it down. We don't need it for no poly neither, but so let's just okay, that'll do. And again, I'm going to set my length to 2 bars. So you don't need to stop the actual recording. You can just jump in and record anytime you like, and you have a timeline reminder across the bottom there as well. So that's that sound. So now we've got 3 sounds. Let's go and have a look at the mixer properly. And this is where we can make it sound really nice and get our balance right, etc., as you would expect. So let's play. So here's our sub synth. Okay. Sounds really nice. Just adding tiny bits of this in the mixer. It makes such a huge difference. It's unreal. Okay, so let's see. We have that little 2-bar pattern. So let's go and have a look now at the effects. Yes, let's see. So let's play. So maybe the beatbox, we can add something to the beatbox. I'll show you, it's easy as well. You've got, and if you add another set of tracks, you've got some more, you can swing over sort of thing. If you're not just limited to like 8 tracks or 7 tracks, anything like that. So beatbox. Let's see, you've 2 effects insert. So what could we add to the beatbox? Let's see. Well, let's try with this compressor, and let's play. Okay, and then maybe a big crusher. Take the mix down a little bit. And on the sub synth, let's put in a chorus. And then on the Rhodes, let's put in a yeah, vinyl simulator. That's nice. And let's go back to our mixer now. And maybe even yeah. So once you've built up a load of patterns, and that's how you do, you continually can add. I want to do we'll have a look at some of the other instruments in a second. Let me get a swig of water. When I've basically finished with the tutorial part, which we're nearly done with, I want to show you the master effects are self-explanatory. Those delays and reverbs that we applied in the mixer as this and this. You also have an EQ and a limiter, and these will come through as it's playing. Okay, and the limiter. So this is affected in the master, and you can hear that delay. Or we could adjust the feedback. There you go. And it's a stereo delay, so it's panning either side, as you can probably hear. And then the reverb again, you can adjust that. So let's just quickly go and have a look at the sequencer now. So this is where it's important to pay attention to pattern and song. At the moment, it's playing the pattern. Okay, so you could build up loads and loads and loads of patterns, or like I said, you can just you could add pattern A2, pattern A3, etc. Here we go. It marks it out for us as we add instruments, and you can add, I think you can add up to 16. You just scroll up. Beatbox, let's click on this, and there we go. There's pattern A1. Now we know we've only got pattern A1. You can see it's highlighted. If there was more, these would all be highlighted as well, which means you could add any pattern from any of the banks anytime you like. So I'm going to go okay, and there is, it's added. Now there are a couple of things we could do here. We could click on it again and add another one like this, or we can hit this and extend it, and it will extend the pattern, including all its MIDI data, over as many bars as you want. So that's dead handy. Or we could go into the edit part, and we could copy and then paste that pattern. Okay, so lots of ways to do it, but we'll just for now, and don't forget, we could go in and make some adjustments. In fact, let's do that, shall we? We go to our resolution, tap on the resolution there, and then you can just select a new pattern, and then you can continue to build on your new pattern. So let's do that. Let's make a new pattern for pattern 2, and let's set our metronome. So remember, this is pattern 2. Switch our metronome on. Press record to get ready. And then I'll play it in with my fingers. Just so it sounds different. Turn the metronome off, stop record, because don't forget, everything will be remembered. So now if we go to our sequence, right, we can click on here, choose pattern 2 and go OK. And then we could just, for the sake of this one, we can just stretch that out. So once you come out of this mode here and click on there, and this is for the PCM synth now, and I'm going to choose, because we've only got one pattern for that, right? I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click OK again. And then what we're going to do is, let's see, let's do this so we can see a bit more of what's going on. So I'm going to lasso all this stuff. Let me just get my lasso page. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'll just extend. Yeah. Like that. We can extend another 4. And I can just extend this one as well like that. And then for the last one, let's just make sure we're off this again, because that causes problems. For the sub synth, we can bring that in there and then just extend. So select it and extend. Just extend it along like this. And then we're in song mode. Remember, that's important. So and that, guys, is basically how you do it. I got lost a few times, little places around here, so I don't use it often enough. But it doesn't take long if you use it for a little bit. It doesn't take long to actually suss it all out. Key thing is, remember to go back into pattern mode if you want to be, you know, adjusting patterns and stuff. Okay, before we go, I'll just run you through a few of the other things we get. We get this bass line, which sounds as you would expect. Quite meaty. Lots of different presets to choose from. And sorry about that. The pad synth is nice. You can delete these, by the way, just by grabbing hold of them and moving them. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. The developer has absolutely brilliant tutorials on how to program all these synths. Has just move them out of the way. Has a vocoder. I'm not going to demo that, but I did do a tutorial on the vocoder as well. You have an 8-bit synth, which is you have to kind of, you can make all these, you can do all these things, and if it's ready, it won't work. But for instance, you can program it yourself with all this math, or you can just use you just use the presets. Let's see. Oh, it has a modular synth as well. Gang, select a patch. Let's see. So auto dub load, and you do have. Let's see. There we go. You can add different generators. Some have been used, obviously, and then use the envelopes, filters, mixers. It even adds a few effects, and then miscellaneous modules. So you can even do a bit of the old. And if you flip it, you can, you can just drag this stuff around and put it in other put it in other places. It's pretty cool stuff, the modular, if you're into modular, of course. What else do we have? You have an organ. Okay, so it's really nice. You have some controls. So you have like a which is quite good, the organ is. Loads of different, again, patches. And don't forget, it's got a drive as well to get that rock. Rock grunge feel going on. I mean, Caustic is really good. It's a really good app. Of course, it's really friendly on the CPU. Then you have an FM synth. Looks like it's a 3 operator. And get rid of that one. Actually, I can get rid of it modular and the 8-bit on my project as well. Coupler strong engine as well. We have synth, which is really nice. But again, there's loads of presets, but there's loads on the net for free, you know. 2-voice engine. And this sounds nice when you start to apply some of the mixer effects. Let's just, well, we can't be until we go back to the engine, but let's put a bit of width on it as well and go back to the and also because it's basically running MIDI as well. If we play our little, we can change out the drum kit. Or the synth sounds, so we could go to the Pcm Synth. Or the subs. You can navigate by doing this, by the way, as well. So there you go. There is a look at some of the cool stuff that we can do in Caustic. I'm just going to do this for a screenshot. The vocoder is really cool if you start to, by the way, you can have more than one. It's kind of like, it was kind of early stage AUV3. We have a source synth as well, which you've seen. Sorry, you didn't see that, so I'll quickly show you that before we go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. So the source synth, obviously, it's you can get super source stuff going on. Don't forget you have to turn the filter on. Again, tons of presets to play with. Polyphony. Anyway, there you go, guys. There was a kind of more of a nostalgic trip back with Caustic, which is I honestly still think is really nice. Oh, you might notice as well that since I've filled up all the instruments, we now have extra mixer channels as well. You see, as soon as you go over your normal, and including the effects, your normal 7 or 8 places, it adds the other 8 in. So anyway, 14 tracks you can have, 14. I think it's ample. Okay, guys, thanks very, very much for watching. Bless you all. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please consider becoming a Patreon from as little as $1 a month. And I will see you later. Ta-ra.